Got another mega box of 2025 Topps Holiday Baseball cards. This is the 88th mega box. And let's see what we got. Um, this is just before the MLS, or not the MLS, the World Cup final between Spain and Argentina. Uh, yeah, so that I'm looking forward to that. I think Argentina's going to win. Uh, I think Messi may be playing better than he's ever played, and I think it's because he's been playing the MLS style, which is a more aggressive style, take chances style, and he does that. You see that with a lot of his passes, and sometimes they go back the other way. Sometimes there's some breakaways, but I think he likes the freedom of that style, and it's been kind of interesting to watch him play uh, because I think the play in the World Cup reflects more that style. It'll be interesting to see um, how they do in the final. But yeah, it's been fun to watch. Uh, I'm disappointed that Norway lost the way they did because, uh, and I know everybody knows this by now, but there were those two chances in the first half that was after he already scored one, and the one was like unbelievable. I mean, everybody could see it. The camera had a perfect angle. Everybody watching are all waiting for the same thing: the wide open pass to Holling, uh, or Holland. Yeah, Holland. Um, yeah, it, uh, it was just everybody's waiting for the pass, and then you see him take this tough shot, and I'm watching him take the shot, and I'm trying to find any justification for why he would take that shot because it wasn't there. The guy had good position on him. It was a tough shot. It would have required some luck, and you had Holland wide open, nobody within, geez, at least maybe 10 feet, 15 feet in front of the goal. It would have been that guaranteed goal. There's no way Holland not scoring from that position. So that's one goal right there. And then the other one, it would have been a little tougher pass, but it still should have been made. Um, that was the second chance, and that was, I think, just before halftime, a little before halftime. And yeah, I thought anybody else, any other striker, would have been much more demonstrative after that. But he kind of showed it in the second half, though. I think the missed opportunities in the second half were just tough opportunities. But his frustration was more about what happened in the first half. And you hate to think that those, sorry, I hope you're able to hear. You hate to think that those other guys were taking those shots because they wanted to be the heroes, but it's hard not to think that. Um, Holland was clearly getting all the publicity, and I'm not just talking about on the team, the whole World Cup. And he was actually playing the best. I mean, those two goals, uh, what was it in the game before? And I forget who they were playing. I mean, just amazing goals. The first one where he did the header, was just pure athleticism. And then the second one between the legs, you know, and I know some people are going to say it was luck. That he was trying to do that shot. He made the shot he was trying to make. He wanted to go through those legs. He saw that corner. He thought he had it. Took a big wide swing and I mean just amazing shot. So much power. The defender had no chance to react. The goalie, of course, is not seeing exactly where the ball's going, because it's going through this guy's legs, so it makes it a little harder to see and slows down his reaction, and just an amazing goal. And they should have beat England. It shouldn't. There was definitely another goal there in that first half, and probably two. And yeah, I hate to think that these guys were doing it because they wanted to be the heroes themselves. But it's hard not to think that. It's a shame. And you could tell Holland's frustrations in the second half were not about what happened in the second half. It's about what happened in the first half. And I don't blame him. It was inexcusable. Inexcusable. The first one, more than anything, that first one, that first chance, or after he scored, I should say, um, that was wide open, nobody there. Yeah, I mean, the whole world watching is waiting for the pass because it had to happen, right? I mean, you're talking about the best player in the world, and I think most people would feel that way right now. Yeah, that was a shame. Uh, Gunnar Henderson on the ornament. But for the final, it's a really kind of a flipped here. It's a really interesting contrast of styles in the final. Um, Spain has been playing a very conservative ball control style, while Argentina, as I said, has pretty much been playing pretty aggressive. They kind of slowed down a little bit in that last game, which I think I'll be interested to see if they get aggressive right from the start with Spain. That not to have to wait, um, and being forced to get aggressive. It's interesting. I don't know how many games were won by the team that didn't score first, but it's kind of interesting because you could see it. A lot of the teams were playing a marathon style where you kind of conserve energy, um, for the first half and maybe a little bit of the second half, and then get aggressive at the end. You saw a lot of teams playing that style, and you saw a lot of goals and stuff getting scored at those points. Uh, I think uh, the same thing happened to Argentina getting scored against that forced them to get aggressive, and you saw Messi taking chances with passes, which um, normally with that the European teams, or any the world teams other than the MLS teams, wouldn't be probably doing that. Maybe some of the South American or Latin American teams might do that. It's funny because if you've ever watched any of those games, the fans want action in those games, and they'll start booing even their home team if they're not getting action. They want to see aggressiveness, and it's interesting that the MLS is kind of it plays that style where if you have better players or something like that, you want to create more chances for those better players, because the tighter you play a game, the more of a marathon style where you play it conservatively, that allows teams that aren't as good as you to play close to you and have a chance to win. Whereas if you're taking more chances, yeah, you may give up some chances, but you're bringing in your athleticism, your better ability more into play with the more chances. And it'll be interesting to see how this game goes, because Spain has been playing this super conservative style ball control, and Argentina, for the most part, has been playing aggressive. So it'll be a lot of fun. But I think, uh, like I said, Messi's style actually reflects more of playing in the MLS now than it does necessarily the game situation, although obviously the game situation dictated it. But even within the game situation, I think most people wouldn't have taken some of the chances he took. Um, but that's that aggressive MLS style. So um, Nick Kurtz, Ellie Dela Cruz, Ryan Helsley, Spencer Steer, George Kirby, Will Warren, Corbin Carroll, Carlos Correa, Seiya Suzuki, and our holiday glitter is Zach Wheeler. Yeah, but it's been fun watching Messi play this aggressive style to where he can really show his ability. He's arguably the best player that's going to be in that game. So we'll see. But the other guys on Argentina have been playing really well too. And Messi, you saw in that last game where he became more of a point guard and an assist guy, and in doing so by taking some chances, he was making some passes. They did get some breakaways going back the other way because of the chances he took on some of those passes. But that's that MLS style. You want to keep the action going to get as many chances, like with a person with Messi, who's arguably the best player in the world, and especially with the way he's playing right now. But I think Holland made a case that it's hard to say that he's not. Um, Shohei Ohtani, Michael Harris II, Christian Yelich, Matt Shaw, Chase Dollander, Hayden Birdsong, Manuel Clase, Junior Caminero, Jack Flaherty, and our holiday short print is Luis Angel Acuna. I don't mind who wins the game. I'll be happy for both teams. I guess I'm kind of wanting it to be Messi just because he's having an amazing World Cup. And I feel like that would be the icing on the cake. And I don't know if he would play again, and hard to believe he would play again in a starting role. Um, uh, I've always wondered why the World Cup didn't go every 2 years. I wouldn't be surprised if you see something like that. Luis Castillo, Angel Martinez, Josh Young, Jose Altuve, Darren Baker, Relvis Martinez, Framber Valdez, C.J. Abrams, Freddie Freeman, and our holiday glitter is Brent Rooker. Last pack, I got a foil, blue foil, or purple foil back card to 199, numbered to 199. So I'm open for Chrome. Chris Sale, JT Realmuto, Pete Crow Armstrong, Matt Chapman, Luis Robert Jr., Kerry Carpenter, Freddie Peralta, Nathan Eovaldi, Cade Horton, and I can feel this. So this might be the light blue. Yeah, that was flip. Juan Soto. I really do a hit more than anything. Not just a chrome, but a hit altogether. Haven't hit anything in about probably 30 boxes. Jacob Wilson, Juan Soto, Nolan Schanuel, Byron Buxton, Matt Olson, Zach Wheeler, Chandler Simpson, Jose Ramirez, Alec Burleson, Andrew Benintendi. Is that a chrome? Yeah, I guess that's a chrome. Okay. Lawrence Butler appears on the refractor. Very nice. And Chris Sale on the holiday glitter. That's nice. There we go. Yeah, I noticed these have been coming out of Tennessee, these last few boxes that I got from GameStop. Before that, they were pretty much all coming from Dayton, Ohio. And I noticed in those boxes, I was pretty much only getting relics. I don't know if it's a coincidence or not. Just saying. But I'm glad to get a chrome. And I've been getting refractors, which surprises me because in all the early boxes, and I'm assuming this is still the early box because of getting the two holiday glitters, this is the second refractor. And I didn't get any in the other early boxes. So still got a bunch of packs, so maybe we get a second hit here. That's usually how it happens. Let's hope I get something. I'm happy getting the chrome. I guess this is our blue metallic. I can feel it. I'm just going to go ahead and flip it. Yeah, this is our, there you go. That's a good one right there. Shohei. Probably should sleeve that one. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I don't know how tough those are because I don't know how big the set is, but just by some of the players that I've seen, I'm thinking they wouldn't have been included if it had been a small set. So I'm thinking this is actually a pretty large set. Boy, I thought it was interesting that Shohei didn't play in the All-Star game. I know he was claiming some injury, but I mean, obviously this has more to do with his desire to win a Cy Young. which I don't blame him. I mean, that would be, I guess, unprecedented. I don't know. Did Babe Ruth ever win a Cy Young? I imagine he won the MVP, but if they had it back then, um, George Kirby. But that's nice. Get a stand here. Actually, we got one here. Yeah, blue too because of the Dodgers, so that makes it extra nice. George Kirby, Rafael Devers, Yu Darvish, Austin Riley, Austin Wells, Randy Rosarina, Alex Bregman, Manny Machado, and Kobe Mayo. I hope I've been holding this in the camera. Could be a little better, couldn't it? Okay, hopefully that's better. But that's actually a pretty good card. I would imagine that's worth a few dollars. um, I think the top centering might be a little off. Hard to say with the Christmas um, garland or whatever. Hunter Green, Julio Rodriguez, Kevin Alcantara, Nacho Alvarez Jr., Matt Strahm, Brian Reynolds, Gunnar Henderson, Andrew McCutchen, Jordan Lawler, and our holiday glitter is Ben Rice. That's a nice one. Yeah. Yeah, that's probably worth a few dollars too. Even if I don't get another like hit, I've been hitting some good ones on the parallels, obviously. I mean, I would think that Ben Rice, I probably should put that in a sleeve too. Making me work. This box is making me work. Yeah, nice box. Yeah, those two cards definitely paid for the box. Oh, it's two cards, I wonder. Thought it felt a little thick. Yeah, I saw that recent video. I'm running out of stands here. Of I think it was what Sports Card Investors had showed the process at CGC, and yeah, I thought it was kind of interesting the amount of handling, and I wondered if that was truly the process that they showed in the video because there seemed like there was a lot of unnecessary handling. Um, and even with the hand, well, um, and then the grader, I'm not sure. Is there a reason they wouldn't? I don't know. They didn't wear gloves, which I thought was kind of odd. And I mean, he held it on the edge, but there were some spots where he held the card face up where he could have left fingerprints, which I thought was, but I guess they have the ability to clean it. Maybe that's why, that not wearing gloves offers a little more control, and they can clean it because they mentioned that they'll wipe off fingerprints and dust, which I think I I don't know if PSA does that. If anybody knows, I don't think they do at PSA. I wish PSA did that actually. There's no reason, especially with the handling. And I think that's probably CGC's thinking about wiping dust and fingerprints because of the handling that it does go through, uh, while it is in their, that they have it. So I could see why they would do that. And I kind of wonder why PSA, if they don't do it, why they wouldn't. Because obviously there's some handling that could leave potential dust in. I don't know. I don't know about fingerprints, but definitely there could be potential dust and even damage. Um, so, yeah, I'll be kind of interested to find out how PSA does it. I don't know if they'll show us anything like that soon. Um, wouldn't surprise me if you send in, like, especially an expensive card, that they might have a file where you can see all video of when it's being actively in the process of getting its, grade and everything. Like, say, you can see when your package is opened, and, then they'll, whatever that person does with the cards, you get to see all that. And you might not see it obviously transferred between one area to another, but then the next person that gets it to whatever, to do whatever, you would see that process, and then, maybe it goes to a grader, whatever the case may be. I wouldn't be surprised if you see, like, because that would actually be a relatively short video, because they're just cutting to the people actually handling it in the various stations. So it wouldn't be that long. And I mean, relatively speaking, um, wouldn't be surprised me at all if they eventually added that. PSA added video, file of your card going through the process. Because, especially, with some of the problems that have occurred when it's been in PSA's hands, there have been incidents, and, and then then apparently PSA has attempted to lowball the people, the customer, in some instances, I guess. So that would go a long way to, I think, maybe eliminating that. The people would be a little more careful and knowing that it's so, yeah. And if something does turn up missing, you could more likely pinpoint to when it happened or where it happened, I would think. Um, yeah, wouldn't be surprised if you start seeing PSA offer that, a video service. It'd be a great thing to do for CGC too, and they kind of showed it. So, and you could see it wouldn't be that long. Wyatt Langford, Jockenzie Noel. I'm talking a long time. Kumar Rocker. It's probably half an hour video. Reese Hines. It's been a while. Mason Wynn, Mark Vientos, Caden Dana, David Festa, Drew Romo, and another holiday glitter. Short print is Tarek Skubal. So we're still getting the early boxes. And our stack is starting to pull ahead now of the cookies or snowflake, whatever you want to call them, because they're technically a cookie. If you look very close, you can see that the cookie is just a lighter brown than the border, which that's kind of comical, because obviously if the border had been a different color, more people would realize it was a cookie. I called it a snowflake for the longest time because I couldn't see. I didn't notice that there was actually a lighter brown around the snowflake that showed the cookie. Dylan Cruz, Clayton Kershaw, Young-Hoo Lee, Kyle Tucker, Jackson Churio, Dallas Garcia, Riley Green, Will Wagner, Vinny Pasquantino, and the holiday glitter is JT Realmuto. And this last one should be our snowflake. Hopefully maybe we get a hit with it. That would be nice. Not complaining though. This was a good box. Got lucky with the players I got in the parallels. Drew Thorpe, Ryan Bliss, Adal Amador, Jacob deGrom, Jordan Alvarez, Jarren Duran, Griffin Conine, Logan Gilbert, Moises Ballesteros, and no hit. So, and there's our snowflake, Jazz Chisholm Jr. Okay, I'm not keeping you any longer. Thank you.